everybody, and welcome to my channel. I am Melissa. This video is the third video in my Understanding Gambling Addiction series on my channel. So if you have not seen videos 1 and 2, please take a look at those. I'd like to talk about the title of this video, Guilt, Anger, and Forgiveness, but I'd like to begin with forgiveness first. One of the things we know is that in order to move ahead in our lives, we have to be able to practice a certain level of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean that no one did you wrong, or that you were not wrong in a situation, or that you were not treated unfairly. Forgiveness simply means that you are letting this thing go so that you can move on in your life, so that you can release it, whatever it is, and it can release you from its grip so that you can go on to meet the potential in your life and live a productive life. Now, you may wonder, what on earth does this have to do with gambling addiction? When you have decided that you are ready to let go of the gambling, you've decided you've had enough, it's taken control of your life, and that you are ready to let this thing go, when you have decided that, you have to also be able to practice a certain level of forgiveness. Now, it does not mean that the gaming establishment did not do you wrong. Of course, you're going to feel as if you were cheated, as if you were robbed, as if, this money was just taken from you, because we know that if you are a regular player, you probably put on thousands and thousands of dollars, and the casino is just not giving it back. So, there is this idea of wanting your money back, wanting to take vengeance out on the machines so that you can at least get some of your money back. But when you have decided that it is time for you to move on and you are ready to do that, you have to be able to forgive it. You have to look at the situation. You have to look at the casinos, the gaming establishments, and all of that, and say, I am ready to release it, forgive it, forget about the loss. I'm going to go ahead and let it go, because that is the only way that I can move ahead in my own life, by letting this thing go so that I can be released from its grip. Now, there is an emotional side of the gambling that sometimes keeps us in a bind with gambling addiction. And again, I'm going back to this idea that you want your money back, you want to take vengeance on the machines. Sometimes people say, well, I just need a portion of it back. I know I'm not going to get all of it, but I just need a portion of it back. And, then I'll be ready to quit. And then others will say, I just need that one big win. If I can get that one big win, I'll be ready to quit. And we know that there is a danger in that and a threat in that. And of course, that threat and danger is every time you go back, you are continuing to feed that addiction. And if you feed anything, it grows. So I wouldn't suggest, this idea of, I'm just going to get this and then I'm going to stop, because every time you go back in there, you are subjecting yourself to being pulled further into the grip of the addiction. And I do want to say also, regarding the forgiveness piece, I want you to focus on forgiving yourself first. Do that first, because when you are addicted to gambling, you have abandoned the core essence of who you are. Going through life as a gambler is not who you are. That's not what you were put here to do or achieve. You were put here to be productive, to have achievements, to set goals and meet them. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have challenges in our lives, but you were not put here just to be stuck into the grip of this kind of challenge. So you have to decide to let it go, and I want you to focus on forgiving yourself first. Forgive yourself for abandoning who you are, because life is so much bigger than just that gambling addiction. It's so much bigger than just feeling like a hamster on the wheel, just going around and around in that circle of unproductivity. where you're getting nothing done. Life is bigger than that, and we want you to forgive yourself so that you can focus on that. So the first thing is to forgive yourself for abandoning yourself, for treating yourself and treating the money that you work so hard for as if it is nothing. And then we want you to focus on forgiving the establishment. These establishments exist for the sole purpose of being successful and prosperous. And they are going to do that even at your expense. You can bet your bottom dollar that these casinos know who their addicts are. They know who the major players are. They keep up with how much you spend, how much you lose. That's why they're able to send you these free play certificates, because they know how much money you've lost. If you are a diamond or a 7-star player, you probably play a whole lot more than you need to. Casinos know that. They know they're diamond and 7-star players. And when you come into the casino, when you arrive there, they greet you, they know you by name, and they let you know that if you need anything, let VIP know. They treat you accordingly. They know who the addicts are. But their business is designed to thrive. And they're going to do that, even if it is at the expense of the compulsive or pathological or problem gambler. So you want to be careful with that. Now, I want to speak to guilt because one of the problems with gambling addiction is the guilt that you have when you are not able to stop yourself from gambling. Because you say to yourself, well, I can control this in my life, I can control that, and I even have control over that. But for some reason, I cannot control this gambling addiction. And you feel guilty, you feel ashamed. And that guilt can transfer or transcend into anger. Anger, hurt from not being able to stop it, hurt from all of the loss that you've experienced, because remember, you not only lose your money, you lose relationships, you lose friendships, you lose time. Sometimes you lose the things that you have invested in, your home, your car. Sometimes you can lose your job, spending time away from work, just being obsessed with the idea of gambling. Sometimes you lose your freedom. Theft has been known to occur, trying to get money, not to pay your bills, but to go back to the gaming establishment so that you can reclaim the money that you've lost. So there's so much guilt and anger involved in gambling addiction as well, until you can become consumed by it. And these emotions, these feelings can drive you into states of depression. So we want to avoid all of that. And we want to try and bring ourselves to a point of having a clean slate. And the way that we do that is we want to try and just filter out these horrific feelings and emotions with forgiveness. And again, it's very important that you start by forgiving yourself. And even if you need to use positive or utilize positive affirmations, just saying positive things to yourself every day, over and over again, so that you can bring yourself down to a place of peace. Whatever method works for you, you have to get yourself on a path where you're going to be able to start the process of forgiving yourself, forgiving the establishment, letting it go. You know, I once heard a minister say, anything that evil has taken from me, evil can have it. You know, if you've taken it from me, let it go. I want to start fresh. I want to start anew with the new things that God is going to bring and introduce into my life. So if that means anything at all to you, if that idea works for you, you can begin there. But you do have to get yourself on a path so that you are able to get started with that. Now, I do want to say also, and I usually say this at the beginning of the video, but it slipped my mind to say it this time. I don't want anyone to think that I am suggesting that you should stop gambling. If gambling is working for you, by all means proceed. This video is for individuals who have had problems with gambling, who are having problems with gambling, or who may not be sure. They may feel like they are developing a problem with gambling. And we want to go ahead and grab this by the horns so that we can take control over it, so that it does not totally envelop your life and destroy your everything that you've worked for, everything that you're striving for. We want to prevent that from happening. So this video is for anyone who has that issue. If you do not have an issue with gambling addiction, please proceed, because we know that not everyone is prone to gambling addiction. We understand that. Some people can come in and gambling, they can gamble, they can move on and not have a problem with it. But there are others of us who cannot do that. We just become consumed in it. And I speak a little bit more to that in my previous video, Gambling Addiction, Your Brain, Your Mind. Remember that if there is gambling establishments of any kind in your state, there should be a 1-800 number that you can reach out to so that you can try and seek help if you feel like you have a problem with gambling. Also, you can feel free to contact the National Council on Problem Gambling. That number is 1-800-522-4700. Again, that's 1-800-522-4700. We always have the power to take our lives back from this terrible problem. You are stronger than the addiction. Always remember that. There's something in you that is stronger than the challenges that you're going through. So people have overcome this thing, and it is possible to overcome it no matter how long you have been involved in it. There have been people involved in gambling for years, and they have been able to overcome it. And if they can do so, you can as well. So again, just try to get yourself on a path of forgiveness. Try and put your mindset there. Forgive yourself first. Forgive the gaming establishment. Be willing to let it go. And you have to find other things that you are willing to engage in your life so that you can get your mind off of going back to the gambling establishment. I hope that this video has provided some help for you, and I hope that you are able to bring yourself to this place of peace where you can get the ball rolling on getting back to a life of productivity, because again, that is not what we were put here for. And you want to be able to meet your life's potential and live in the fullness of that. So I hope this video has helped you, and please subscribe for more great videos. I want to try and be consistent with uploading these videos because there's a ton of information that I want to share with you. I think I want to focus in the next video on a gambler's view of money, because what we know is that you can be frugal when it comes to the way that you spend your money in other areas of your life. But when it comes to that gambling addiction, and that gambling addiction is out of control, you lose all concepts of how you view money. And you view it differently when you are at your favorite machine, or when you're in that casino. You view money differently. So I want to speak to that in the next video. So stay tuned for that. And again, thanks again for watching. And I hope that you were able to gather something from this video. Good luck with your journey and life, and God bless you.